Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're talking about a game Mothergunship Forge, made by developers Terrible Posture Games Inc., which right off the top, I was excited to see that, they're out of Boston.
They are.
Man, that's
That
not
is the rumor.
it's not often we get
The rumor.
For those that don't know, we're from Massachusetts, not Boston, but it's always cool to see, local boys,
Yeah, I don't. Bostonians kind of look at our area as not really attached to the state a lot, though.
No, it's
Western Mass is different than.
I always joke we're part of the state that doesn't exist.
We got the trees.
People forget about.
We got the trees. They got the city.
Yeah. Nonetheless,
And
though,
the Red Sox.
this game, Mothergunship Forge, I use this description tightly. Like, you don't hear me say this every episode. This is definitely my new favorite co-op game in VR. And man, I don't know. It might be. I don't know if it's just a phase. Could change in a month. It might be my new favorite VR game right now.
Yeah, but dude, you've been saying it for a little while now.
Well, I mean, let's be real.
You haven't deviated once to me, so I'm starting to believe you.
Well, let's be real. We both played it for the first time at the same moment because it's a co-op game. So we both went into it for that first time experiencing it. And when you load in this game, it's, last week we reviewed Until You Fall, which is a roguelite. It's, go until you die, then start again. This is very similar in that you do runs. So when the game starts, they have you do a little tutorial, which is basically just a dude who pops up with a text box, and he'll tell you about each room as you enter it. And at pretty much every time you experience something for the first time, he pops up. But basically what happened is me and you did like one or two rooms of the tutorial and then just quit the tutorial, hit surrender, went into the main menu and went to co-op. So we've really figured out the game in co-op. But what's cool is the tutorial guy still kind of popped up if I did something for the first time, but it was in co-op. It kind of treated it like, I'll still tell you about it a little bit, because you've never been here before. So we had the same first initial experience with the game, and I think both of us were right off the top, blown away, hooked.
Yeah, you want to give the ratings before we get into it?
Yeah, I mean, I already said the name and the developer, but just to say it again, it's Mothergunship Forge, made by Terrible Posture Games, Inc. Just came out June 16th, and it's already seen a good handful.
Just literally 3 months.
Yeah, and there's already been like 3 or 4 big updates.
3 updates, yeah.
Even our favorite game mode, which we'll get into, just really came a month ago, so big props on them. It's $19.99 on the official MetaQuest store with a 4.6 total rating and 223 total ratings with 155 written reviews. Now, one of the things that I was saying to you, like while we were playing, I was this game is so much more fun than the amount of attention it's gotten.
Yeah, I'd categorize this one as a sleeper.
Yeah, I haven't really seen it make the waves in like news and stuff like that, but holy moly, is this game fun!
And this is one of those, honestly, that I didn't think I was gonna like it. I just wanted co-op, go be straightforward. I just wanted, let's review something that's, got co-op in the title and
that we can play together, and not like,
this one is a sleeper. It is good.
Yeah, so like I was saying,
I love it.
It has that like roguelike type feel where, you just do runs nonstop. But the way this game works, there's not like perma upgrades you make too much. There's kind of is. There's perks you can unlock by meeting certain criteria. It does lessen your total score at the end, but there kind of is. But for the most part, you really just do the same thing every time, but you unlock new items that you can encounter along the way.
No, first of all, this is not like any
game I've ever played.
Anything I've ever played, because I mean the concept of going through different levels and then in like the mode I like to play, there is an end game to it per se, but then you're going to replay it again. And not for the reasons other games like this are either, where you need to replay it to make the money. No, you're starting from zero again. Everything in this game is randomized to the hilt. So unlike a normal, we'll say a sword game, you have a sword, okay, that's going to be your weapon. No, this game starts you off with like one extension piece that you can put on your right or left hand or on your wrist, this little attachment, and then they'll give you a choice of one weapon.
One out of 2 weapons.
Yeah, that's going to be your starting function. And it sounds like, oh, okay, that's cool. But visually, you have to understand that it's not.
Yeah, you can build guns to be anything you want.
As long as you get those randomized pieces.
It's like adult Lego. So like with these pieces.
Yeah, Legos is probably the best way to put the connecting things together. Yeah.
Yeah, like you were saying, you can put things on either your right or your left hand, but when they start you with, you get to pick from one or two different connectors, which is randomized based off of the different connectors that you have unlocked. So as you unlock more, could be different funkier looking ones, but each different type of connector has a totally different, layout of sockets. Now, sockets are where you're going to put either a weapon, a power up, or a canister. And a canister is like a power up with limited ammo. And there's various ways to refill your canisters. Some of them, it's like every time you hit a critical hit, it'll refill. If you get hit, it refills. There's like items that you can shoot that refill your canister. Or you can attach another socket to another, connector to a socket, which I do a lot. So let's say you have a socket with like 3 across. You can either just put 3 guns there, and now that's the end of your shooting thing, or you can dedicate one of those sockets to putting another connector, and now you can just start to build like crazy. So usually by the end, our guns are just crazy conglomerations.
Yeah, and it's even harder because you only start off with the one of each.
Yep, so one gun, one connector.
And then you do a run per se, or a level, I'll call it. And then at the end of the level, you get a prize for, completing this level. But here's where it gets weird. You then have to choose, like they'll give you 2 doors at the end of the level for your next start one and say like.
And it's not always 2 doors. Sorry to interrupt, but I'll say it could be like 2 to 4.
It could be 1.
Yeah.
It could be 1 door. It could be 4 doors. But the point is that they'll give you like an item description on it. Like it might be shield, it might be health, it could be a forge so you can upgrade your weapon, or it could be weapon parts, which is our biggest go-to because the only way to get new additional weapons
or connecting pieces or
is
upgrades
to go to the door that has the weapon parts in it.
Mm-hmm.
But where it's really weird is you're not guaranteed you're going to get a weapon. So it's going to give you the choice of 3 items when you clear the wave. But it could be 2 connectors and a power up. It could be 3 cans for the special canisters. So the randomization of it is off the charts.
Yeah, and you're also not guaranteed to even get to choose a gun part door. Like you might complete a wave, and now their only option is a health and a shield. You can either refill your health, gain a max health. I think a couple of the other doors, like you said, there's forge upgrades. Once you complete that, you pick any of your items to upgrade. And you can even upgrade the connectors themselves.
Yeah.
And like it'll be like, all right, now all the weapons attached to this do plus 10% damage. Which is cool too, because you can highlight your weapon and like with your
A button.
Yeah, with the pointer on your other hand, and it'll give you a full stat breakdown. It'll give you the rate of fire, it'll give you the amount of damage, it'll give you all that stuff, special effects. So you can see that before you pick any weapon. You'll see the amount it upgrades. But then, there's also these doors with like this purple stuff called mineralite. But it's cool because it's not cool. It's funny. The tutorial guy, when, you first encounter it, he'll be like, yeah, we just call it purple stuff. So
it's purple stuff.
What do you think we call it now? We got to call it purple stuff. But the purple stuff seems useless, but all you really, what it does is, in order to unlock new weapons or new connector pieces or new canisters, you need to hit a certain amount of meteorite. So, it is kind of important to unlock more stuff, but it's my lowest priority to go for.
Yeah, because you organically will. I don't go out of my way to get it, and I've got an absolute shit ton of it.
Yeah, because every time you kill an enemy, it's going to drop that purple stuff. And they also sometimes drop a coin, so there's also a coin door, which if you clear it, you get 5 coins. Coins are used in a shop, which you come across occasionally. And you can buy, sometimes there's a weapon, but usually it's just a couple canisters and like a connector piece.
Yeah, weapons are honestly to me like the last thing that seems to be the most common to get. So obviously when you see one, you're never going to survive in this game with just one weapon, because you'll have certain waves and then there'll be a boss, and then more handful of waves, and then each time you're picking a new door to go through for a new item that you're hoping to goodness. But what's cool with the forging is you can take let's say you got a freaking gun and it's a common gun, and it'll tell you that it's common. Every time you forge it, it increases the stats of the gun, and then eventually after like the third one, maybe second or third depending, it'll change it from a common gun to an uncommon, and then you can keep forging it, and if you're lucky, and then you can change it to a rare. So there's a bunch of different varieties of levels of guns that you can actually find as well.
Yeah, the love you said them all. It goes uncommon to I've never been able to get a weapon upgraded to legendary, but there's legendary items.
Yeah, I've had a handful of the legendary
like canisters and stuff like that.
No, the power up items, not the canisters though.
Yeah.
The ones that have like a huge effect, like, gain 1 extra gold every time you go into a new room or something to that.
That's another type of item you can get, and the gaining 1 gold each room, I end up being Mr. Moneybags with it. Awesome,
there is a shit ton
of different
items.
Yeah, like there's some that increase your health every time you come across a boss.
And your guns get ridiculous. You'll never build the same gun twice. I can almost promise you that. And they can get ridiculously big. Like if you score that one run where, every gun part you go to, there's going to be an option for a gun piece, and you've got good connectors. You literally could have 8 guns on one hand, all connected together and having power-ups attached to them.
Yeah.
It's friggin' awesome.
I've had some pretty ridiculous builds. So like, you know how you were saying that you can, it seems like guns are in the smallest like drop rate.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that when you go in, you see like all the list of different items that you either have unlocked or can unlock. There's only 50 guns.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot more than 50 of every.
Couple 100 other things.
Yeah, of every type of item. So you can see like guns are the smallest amount. So when you have everything unlocked, it seems like you're starting to get guns, less than when you first started to play. Because like when you first started playing, the ratio of guns to other items, it's a little bit more balanced. But now you have everything unlocked, and like, I swear we were getting guns a lot more frequently when we first started playing than we do now when we do runs.
I equate it to like a scratch ticket. It's like sometimes you scratch it and there's nothing, and then sometimes you scratch it and it like might be $1,000. Because when you're done when you're done playing and you die or whatever, you go to this freaking map area, and you can actually see the gun that you were using in a bigger form than it was on your hand.
It always looks so massive.
Oh, it's huge. But it's cool because sometimes you put together some pretty badass guns, but it'll let you save that loadout.
Yeah, you hit favorite.
Yeah, so you don't lose necessarily all the, but sometimes you'll do a run and it's like everything's in your favor. You're banging out all the prizes. You're getting like all the good upgrades. You'll have like 2 rare guns that you picked up. I had a power up the other day that guaranteed that every gun or every drop that I came to would be 1 tier higher than it originally was.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's helpful.
so it's like you're finding just tons of the thing was insane. Dude.
If it's common, it's now going to be rare.
Yeah, it's one of the few games that the second I finish it, or if I die, I'm like, nope, playing it again.
Yep. And it's like there's infinite replayability because I never feel like I have the gun I want. Because
no, the randomization. It's really crazy.
There's so many different style guns. Like you can have like repeating guns, like your typical laser, your typical blaster.
Yeah, there's Tesla coil guns, shotguns.
There's grenades though. There's rocket launchers. There's pizza box shooters which shoot like a ninja blade of pizza. There's shrapnel launchers. There's a bunch of different stuff. But man, it's happened
just recently. I think what now cozy update was the flamethrower there.
Yeah, I was using that last night, and it's pretty cool, But let's be real, because of the amount of different different connectors, different canisters, different starting guns. Once you have them all unlocked, you might start. Very rarely do I dislike my my connectors. I can usually work with it, no matter the shape. It is what it is. But sometimes neither of those first 2 guns are good, and then it's always like. After that first room, your next room is always a gun part. Like, you grab the first connector, you put your gun out, gun part on them. It's always a gun part. But now after that, Now the random aspect comes in.
Yeah, could be
So-
a gun part. It could be friggin' the shield.
Anything.
It could be health. Sometimes we've had to play because it was like a single door, and it's like we both have full health. We don't need health,
Mhm.
but there's the health door that we have to go through.
Yeah, it's random.
Then
And
they got key doors,
So think of
which are kind of critical.
The
You
key-
need those.
a key
They
door.
bait you is what they do, because you're not guaranteed that you'll need the friggin' key.
No, but keys allow you to get into a locked room known as treasuries, which is pretty much like a shop with
Without the cost.
Yeah, with everything unlocked. You don't have to spend any gold at
Your
all.
measly gold that you got to unlock something.
Yeah, so dude, there's so much going on in this game. It's quite remarkable that it works how it does, so fluidly, because I don't think we've really emphasized that you're getting swarmed by enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of different variety of enemies. They go fast, they go
They're
slow,
all
they
like
come.
mechanical type enemies.
It's all like robots. Like, you're
Yeah.
kind of like shooting robots.
No zombies or any of that type of thing going on.
There's some that shoot lasers at you. There's some that just shoot typical rockets. There's
Guided missiles, lasers, bullets, name it. It's been huge, like to scale, like a big 4-foot
Mhm.
mortar shell coming at you.
And like there's some that are like spinny razor ones, and they'll hit you. And those ones always suck if you only have one
The
gun.
dogs, they got the robot.
Yeah,
dogs.
the robot dogs. And now, like, think of this situation. So, you have a bunch of stuff unlocked. You get your connector to start. You put your first gun on. You go through that first gun room, and there's no second gun offered. You just happen to only get
It
offered,
happens.
and it's happened to us. Now, you're up to the game's mercy of when's the next time you're gonna come across a gun part. There's been some runs we do where it's like every round it's offering us a gun part. Doesn't mean we're always getting guns, but we're getting something every
We're
time.
picking it. That's what we're doing.
There's other rounds where we'll go, 5 rounds before you come across another gun part room, and you're not guaranteed a gun.
Dude, the other night, the whole round until we got through the first boss there, I had the one pizza gun. That was it. And it's not a bad gun, but it's more effective when it's attached to 2 or 3 other guns.
I was gonna say you don't want it as your main gun. You want it as
No.
like a secondary bonus little.
No. I love the Tesla gun.
The rail
the
gun.
Tesla coil gun.
The rail gun.
No, Tesla coil gun.
Uh,
It's got the ability to connect. So
okay,
if I
because
shoot
I've gotten it. I don't think I've gotten that one. Maybe I don't have it unlocked, but I have a
No,
Tesla.
you got it. You
I
just
have a
haven't gotten
Tesla.
it.
I have a Tesla coil. That's not a gun. It's an attachment, and it adds the chain.
Yeah,
attachment.
no. If you use that with the actual Tesla gun, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I don't think I've.
And
gotten
the
Tesla
chain,
gun yet.
when you jack it out, because if you make it like a rare,
Mm-hmm.
it you shoot like one enemy in like the top, and if there's
Yeah.
any enemies next to it, it just zaps them.
Yeah, some.
It's like a big lightning bolt.
I like when I don't like when
Dude,
it's my
there's so
main
much
gun.
to unlock.
Yeah, having a rocket launcher somewhere on your attachment list, as one of the guns shooting is real nice. There's been some saves that it's like I'll have like 5 or 6 guns, not saves, runs, and it's like, dude, if you have anything more than 4 guns, all pointing the same direction,
That's
it's
just
wild.
a wall of shit. Yeah.
Because I can't emphasize this enough. The randomness of the socket location on these different it's Lego pieces. You might get one that's 3 across. You might get one that's 1 facing forward, one socket on top, one on bottom, one on the left, one on the right. There might be cube shaped. They might be spherical. They might be cylinder. They might be just funky looking. They might be triangle.
Yeah.
Like,
You can put guns in every one of those sockets if you had them, and you could actually, because I've done that a few times.
rotate the gun as you shoot it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I've got my gun firing there, and then screw it. I don't care if my left hand or my left area of my guns is aiming. I'm just laying down stuff and hoping, because some shit has upgrades that adds magnetism. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, you're gonna shoot your bullet and it's gonna be drawn to the enemy. So if you have that on like facing a direction, you don't really have to aim, but it's magnetized, then what do you care? You just sit there and pull the trigger,
And if-
focus on the ones in front of you.
And if you hold down the trigger, your gun will just auto shoot too. I usually just hold the trigger. And it's funny because you think you have 2 arms, and you can build on both of them. You can add connectors on both of them. If you have no
Equally.
connector, you can put one thing on just your wrist if you want. So you'd think going in like, oh, I'm going to use 2 different guns. I'm going to dual hand this. I don't dual wield. I would rather just one conglomeration, some cluster on my right hand, and then I always use my left hand for like. There's some upgrades that you need to attach to the same gun that you're shooting because it increases damage, it adds the chain effect, it adds bounce, whatever. But there's some upgrades like the piggy bank that adds like 1 gold every time. You don't need that on your gun hand.
No.
So I usually put some weird connector on my left hand, and then all of those type of upgrades that don't need to be on my gun hand, they just go on my left hand. I'll put my keys there, put anything there.
I do the same exact thing.
Because why would I don't want 2 weak guns.
I just want a wall of guns on my right hand. Right.
Things going right, left, everywhere. Dude, I've had some... Oh, man, because you're completely are at the mercy. So you'll have some runs that it just worked good. You got everything you needed. And then some runs, man, I think I had a rocket launcher and a grenade. And
Yeah, that's just not going to cut it.
Oh, that's just not good. They have, like, shields you can pick up. Like, all right, I should specify there's health shield. And then, your regular health. But then you can physically pick up a shield as a item. It sometimes comes up in the gun part. And like you hold it on your hand, and some of them will take like up to like what you had
5
5
damage, 5 damage per room.
I had one that did 3. I was like, damn.
But you have to
block it.
Yeah, I was hoping it was one of those auto shields that like I'll just be protected for 5 hits, but no, it doesn't work that way.
No, and
you have to pretty much know you're getting hit, and
yeah, after you beat a boss, you'll get a little health back, but
yeah, a little.
You don't want to go into facing a boss with low health, so it's like, you want to pick up shield, you can buy shield, but, you can go through the shield rooms. And like I said, there's some rooms that restore health. There's some rooms that don't restore health, but increase your max health. So, I mean, you got to be smart about how you do it strategically, but we're such whores that we have to always do gun part number 1.
Yeah, my order is always, whether I'm playing co-op or solo, is always the gun part. Even if I don't need it, I just want to know, because you unlock so much stuff, and sometimes you don't see the guns you unlock for a while. So damn, man.
Yeah, my hierarchy definitely goes gun parts number 1.
Yeah,
foundries number 2.
Yeah, the foundries 2. Then
then I'd say cash.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd say shield.
So
then
take
cash. I think I'd rather the shield than the cash, because a lot of times I've gotten burned in the shops. Like, there's just nothing freaking
but here's
good.
the thing, in solo mode,
yeah,
you can make so much money. You can unlock all 6 items.
Yeah,
so
because we should specify this in co-op. There's 6 items in the shop, but you each get access to 3 of them.
Yeah.
In solo, baby, you got to look at 6.
But you got to have the cat. And you know what? They did us dirty that time we played it too. And our 3rd room, mind you, you have no money. I
think we had 2 gold each.
Yeah, and there's the option to go into a shop, and I'm like, come on, man, that's
not only the option, it was the only option was to go into the shop.
Can't buy nothing, but we'll show you what you can't buy, and there's always going to be something good.
Well, worse, you're going to be getting gold over the next couple of rounds, and we're not giving you another shop for a while.
I think it was like 2 rooms later, we were like, oh yeah, why can't we have a shop now, because we have the money. But yeah, the order, I think everyone's play order of importance might be different.
Oh, yeah. And everybody has different results. I mean, some people would probably rather 2 smaller guns than 1 conglomeration on their right hand or on one hand. But to me, that's just the comical aspect.
Yeah. Although I built one that distorted my view because it was so, I swear to God, I was like, oh my God, I got to be really careful with.
Well, they let you clip through other connecting pieces. Like, you can put a connector and, like, you'll see the edge clip through another gun. And you're like, I'm really going to put a gun there? And you can. It doesn't really give a damn.
As long as the socket is available.
Yeah.
Or was available. Might not be seen. But, yeah, I do that with, like, the cans and stuff to put them out of the way. But I find they're pretty damn crucial.
And there's also, like, on any type of room, there's a random, go figure random in this game, a chance that it's a ×2 room. Which means that whatever the reward is, gun part, you beat it, you're going to get 2 gun parts. But it's always a combat challenge, which means it's harder. So it's always, you offer us 2 of anything, we're going to take it. Yeah, this is part of our problem. This is why we die so much, because they taunt us with these opportunities. So you have these rooms, it might give you 2, but it's going to be harder. And like a key is always a combat challenge. So you got to... You gotta not only be smart about how you build your thing, You also got to be smart about which rooms you take. Like you
To
really,
when to pick your battles.
yeah, should if you're both are low on health or you're playing solo and you're low on health, probably should stay away from combat challenges. Even though I know we've gone into
You
them.
can't help it though.
You know, we
You
never
want
learn
the,
our
you want the
lesson.
goods.
And it's pretty straightforward. So like in solo mode, at first you only have the regular difficulty mode unlocked and a rookie mode unlocked, which is the same thing, just different difficulty. But then in single player, if you beat one of those, or if you meet a variety of different other challenges, which might be collecting gold, collecting minerite, unlocking a certain amount of guns. There's so many different game modes, like endless mode, sandbox mode, but most of them you unlock by beating a run. These runs don't go forever unless you do endless mode, obviously.
Yeah, but even then you're not gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna die eventually.
I think endless mode's 50 waves or something.
But so you go on to it. You get to pick each one for solo mode. In multiplayer, there's only the default regular mode. But here's the thing. When you do multiplayer and you go to do a co-op campaign, it says it's in beta.
Oh, yeah, it's clear as day.
So
big red letters.
Yeah, kind of neon, they let you know. It's there.
Working.
Yeah, I haven't really had any issues with it, but I'm not surprised that there's only the default like play type because it's still in beta. I do hope though eventually we get an endless mode, the sandbox mode, maybe even be able to do the rookie mode, because damn, we're dying a lot in the co-op one.
Have it be eased up just a smidge.
Yeah, co-op I feel like is harder than solo. Even like solo at the regular difficulty, it's like I just feel like there's so much going on in co-op. We cover sides. So it'll be like, hey, I'm covering the left, you cover the right, and you need to, in my opinion.
I think co-op's more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I do better
in single player.
I've gotten farther in single player than
me as well.
Yeah.
And
it's like, I finished the rookie one. It took me like 3 tries, but I finished
and the bosses
technically beat the final boss.
Yeah, the bosses are always the same. There's like 3 bosses, I believe.
Yeah.
3 or 4, and it's always the 3, and it's the same bosses. It's just the room order is going to be different, like the in-between rooms. So one might say, well, hey, it's the same every time. What's the fun in that? Well, first off, that's part of this genre. Secondly, they give you all of the different modifiers you can do for solo mode. Just in the playstyle, then like I said, you also unlock perks, which might be start with 1 extra health, more money, whatever. But they kind of reduce your total ending score. But, go have fun beating it in co-op is what I say. Like, dude, it's hard. We haven't beat it yet. In co-op,
we haven't. Single player.
Single player is a different conversation, but co-op, no. So it's like, to me, it's just on that. Have fun beating it. You're gonna have to play it a lot of times before you unlock all the different game modes and are able to beat it with a friend. And I don't think I've done a single run and not wanted to. I've been borderline wanted to quit some runs and start another one because it's just about building the gun to me,
Yeah, I need a good strong loadout because I can see the writing on the wall, and the fact that if you have a really good loadout and beat the game or die or whatever and save your gun loadout, you can use it for
sandbox
mode. So it's like it keeps pulling me back because I just want better and better and better.
What sandbox mode is basically you get to pick any of the guns that you favorited, but you're not going to get any gun doors or anything like that. So there is kind of a benefit to favoriting it besides just, looking at it later. And,
if it performed well.
Yeah. I mean, dude.
If it didn't, I wouldn't save it because then it's the last thing you're going to want to use when you're never going to get a...
Yeah, there's sometimes I'll end around and I'm like, I'm not even going to look at... Ugh, I hated that gun. I mean, think if you start and it's a grenade launcher and a shotgun as your 2 choices, it's like, neither of those are two good mains.
Long game. And not for nothing, it's like an average game length for me is over 20 minutes. So
yeah, 20 to 30 to even 40, depending on how far you get.
Yeah.
You die around a little bit after that first boss, it's going to be like 20 minutes. You make it towards the end, it's going to be a little bit more like 35, 40.
Yeah, 21-minute mark is when I got toasted the other day from the dragon boss.
But it'll tell you your exact run time. It'll tell you the amount of damage you did, the amount of enemies you killed. So it's cool when you're playing with a buddy. You can see the breakdown of each other's.
They'll let you choose.
I can even see your guns. I can favorite your guns even. At the end, you see them and it's like, I don't know. It just always looks so goofy blown up like that.
I wish that they had done more of a marketing push on this.
I don't.
Because honestly, I mean,
I found this game by looking for
just
co-op
blind
games.
luck, yeah.
I was looking for co-op games on the official store. Like, man, let me see if any new ones dropped.
I don't think it was a recommendation from anyone.
And I was like, where the hell did this one come from? I was like, came out a couple months ago? It came out in June? What?
yeah.
And then I sent it to you, and you're like, bought it. And I was like, all right, now I got to buy it.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, disclaimer on this one. We didn't get this for free or anything like that. We paid cold hard US dollar for this.
No, I'm happy with every penny that I spent. It actually, dude, I mean,
I didn't think I was going to enjoy it that much.
I thought it'd be fun, but I kind of like did a little eye roll. But I was like, oh, this
Another rogue like.
Yeah, I mean,
We
I'll
just
be
did
honest.
one.
It's like, how many of these, everyone doing one?
Yeah,
But this one's different to me. I mean, everything about it's different. I like the fact that I'm playing it again, not because I need to carry over money to buy a new something.
No, you want to build something new.
Yeah, I want to build some new shit. And I just saw that after that last run, I just unlocked some more stuff. Well, I can't pick it. It's got to randomly show up.
Yeah.
So there's millions, I mean, literally millions of possibilities of loadout.
I've yet to finish a run, not wanting to do another run. It's always either my battery runs out
Dude,
or
I
my
get
time
bummed
runs
when
out.
when we're playing and I see the boss door, and
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, man, we're already, because I
Yeah.
know we just whipped through a whole...
Oh, it's
So-
terrible getting the boss and it happened to us earlier today. We only had one gun each facing the boss. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? But that's the randomness.
Should have just quit. That's what I
Yeah.
should have done. Just started over, and we could have started from
You
scratch.
surrender. That's what it even says. You know what's cool too is when you die and you're at that end main screen, it tells you who killed you. So yeah, I love to look at the enemy and you see that goofy name. All the enemies have something silly. It's not like killed by square robot. It's like, it's ridiculous.
No,
I like when I see killed by boss. Then I feel at least a little proud. I don't like when I see that I died by one of the little circle spinny guys who get all up in my grill.
Yeah, I guess the enemies, if one were to critique, they could argue would, they're not very artful, I guess.
No, hey, look, but
My own personal disclaimer on that is like,
there's too much going on to really
it
care
all
about
works so well that I'm not taking away anything negative from it.
Yeah, I can't emphasize this enough. This isn't a peaceful game that you're facing two enemies at a time. There's so much shit going on with different enemies that I don't think you really have time to stop and look at the artwork. The only time I really looked at the artwork was when I laughed a bit seeing that giant shield guy the first time. There's one enemy that's like a giant, like just a huge shield, and you think at first all he's doing is blocking people.
I call him widescreen.
Yeah, he looks like a TV.
Yeah, like a big old widescreen TV.
At first, I didn't even think he was an enemy. I thought he was just part of the environment floating around. But I was like,
smiling at you.
He's getting up in my grill, and then I noticed that there's a small little part of him that you can shoot and do damage. So I think that's the only time I really even focus in on the artwork, because there's just too much.
No, the
too high pace.
Gun detail's cute for what it is, because it's not, obviously they're not, this is an authentic 38 caliber revolver.
They have a pizza launcher.
Yeah. So yeah, that should speak for itself.
That's enough said.
But of course the hand graphics look nice on your little robot arms.
They do have
not arms. Sorry, your robot hands.
Yep, we got no arms in this game. Tisk, floating
if you're
hands.
an arm hater.
Even better for avatars when you when you load in with your buddy and you do multiplayer. The head's a TV.
Yeah,
It's like a floating TV with floating hands.
little
So,
smiley face.
and guess what? Might be my new favorite VR game. So that's funny how that goes.
This one's got me hooked, man.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I thought that when I first sent it to you and we bought it, I was like, all right, this is a game that we're gonna play together. Like if it's just me, I probably won't hop on, even though it is single player. And I thought that would be the same for you.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, dude, if you're not around, I'm hopping on this. And the amount of times I've gotten messages from you saying, I just did a run and check out my gun. I get videos. I'll get all, like, you've done a lot of runs by yourself.
Yeah,
And I didn't think that would be the case.
I would have never bet money on. I would have lost money on it. I thought I was gonna play this and we'd have a good co-op experience, and then we talk about it, and
Is what it is.
I didn't know that I was gonna want to keep coming back to it. and
Yeah,
it's not on the shelf in any stretch of the imagination for me. They give
No.
you so much to unlock, dude.
I have unfinished business with this one still. This one is.
Oh yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
back
You
to this
said
one
that to
still.
me too. You're like, hey, this one's not finished in my book.
You
I'm like,
can't.
nope, I agree.
I have unfinished business with it. I'm never satisfied. I've yet to get my dream gun. What is my
Wow.
dream gun?
And
I don't know.
And then the worst part, you know that they're gonna keep doing updates. You just know it.
Imagine if you saw a weapon pack upgrade drop or something like that. Now, I will say with this game too, they have a sitting mode, they have a standing mode, and one of the first things I did, and I would say it's a must do for my play style, they have a couple different movement types, and by default, they have you on a room scale, which means if you have like this little circle area you're in, if you want to move around in that, you have to move around in your real life. That's not for me, bro. I use, then you can do a free movement option, which is what I personally suggest switching. Yeah, I like the free move, which then actually lets you use the analog stick
or dash.
So if you load into the game, you start playing, and you're like, I don't have the room availability to be playing like this. Just go right into the settings, switch your movement type to move or to free move, and boom, you're golden. That's like a must do to me.
Yeah, anytime I load into a game and get through the whatever tutorial or little video, it's like I'm going right to those settings.
Let me see what this game lets me do.
Where do I turn off snap turn? That's my,
where do I go to
on snap turn?
Where do I go to smooth turn and smooth movement?
There's not a lot of movement in the game other than ducking and dodging, but it does help to.
I dodge a lot with my analog stick. I'm going left and right nonstop in this game.
I've got little methods I use, so I don't have to go far, but it seems to.
Yeah.
It seems to work.
But if I had to move the same distance that I'm moving in my analog stick, if I had to do that in real life,
no.
I'd be screwed.
I'd have a concussion.
Yeah, well, I would not be enjoying the game as much. So
I would be all sorts of busted up.
So I mean, for co-op games, I mean, dude, this is like, oh my god, it's by far the best co-op game for me. I'm loving it. But for even single player experiences, this game has a lot to offer. Now, my dream thing with it, though, because I love the meta avatars.
Yeah.
Imagine if the meta avatars were in the co-op for this. You load in and I see your fancy library, dude.
Oh, that's funny.
I would pee myself building a crazy gun on his wrist. Tell me that wouldn't be comical.
I think it'll be more commonplace down the road.
Yeah.
More games and experiences than not.
I don't know if the game can handle big avatars. And the reason I say that is because I think that's why they do the TV screen and the floating hands is because, like, look, we're already pushing this baby to the max.
Let's be honest. If you got 6 or 7 guns and they each fire their own unique bullet and have their own unique graphics and all that, that was one of the things I was concerned with the other night because I had a shit ton of guns on my little connectors, and I'm like, all right, it's going to start lagging down.
Never does.
Chop, like video card lag.
Has not happened to me.
No.
And there's a lot, dude. There's a lot going on.
I'd like to find out how many you could have before it did.
Right? Well, here's the thing. I never get the amount I want. I either die, I don't get the right drops, they're not coming to me. I'm never satisfied. I finish every run wanting to do another.
Mm-hmm.
So big props to them,
No, this is going into, I think, the regular routine now.
Mm-hmm. And this is a great example of, remember when we did our top 10 list and we're like, it could change in a couple months. Mm-hmm. Well, this game wasn't on my top 10 list.
Oh, no, it is now.
Now it is. Like, yeah. It's funny the way that goes.
It's one of the funnest experiences I've had in co-op.
Yeah. Or even in single player, but co-op is something really special. Like, it's so much fun loading in there, seeing each other's guns. Mm-hmm. There's a couple wants I have with it. Like, to be honest, I think that they need to increase the gun drop rate. It's just my opinion, Once you unlock a lot of weapons,
and lottery tickets need to win more.
Right. Well, I feel like what happens is when you first start playing, your ratio of guns to other items is more reasonable. But then once you have everything unlocked, there's not that many guns, but there's a lot of different other items. So it's like, holy shit, I'm not getting guns. That's just my personal thing. But I think something really cool to add would be if you could trade items, because we can pretty much walk to the edge of each other's circle.
No, I agree with that. You should be able to give somebody like a part off of yours, or
hand each other.
I don't want this part anymore because I got this better upgrade. Yeah.
Hey, dude, I got this extra canister. You don't have any yet. Something like, oh, dude, I really don't need. I'm not going to use this grenade launcher. Dude, I love the grenade launcher. Something like that.
I've thought of that too.
So
that's a good one.
That would be cool. Other than that, I mean, it's really just the other campaign game modes that are available in single player, like endless mode, sandbox, rookie. I would like to see those in co-op
Yeah.
multiplayer, but
I think they'll get there.
it says in beta. It doesn't feel in beta.
Mm.
Personally, if they didn't have that beta thing on it, I would just be like, oh, they only allow you to do that one game mode. Like, that's just the way it is. But it saying in beta makes me feel like that they're trying to get all of the single player into co-op.
Yeah, I have no idea what their end game is for this. I really don't. I just know that they're obviously going to keep putting out updates.
Yeah, you've really teased me because I wasn't even thinking about more guns dropping and stuff. Now I'll be like, if I see an update and on those notes it says new weapons or new connectors or
You're
anything,
going right in.
I'll probably already be in. I'll probably have been in last night. Now I got to see the difference. Like, this is one of those games.
Got to restart my headset so I can get this up.
So, I think we're pretty clear that we like the game, but you want to take the moment, go into our final thoughts and ratings, but, take a little message from the sponsors first. This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in MetaQuest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real. We've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code Ruff Talk VR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. Damn, Stratus, have you been working out, or is that a new shirt?
Nah, it's just a new shirt.
What is it? Is that your True Classic tee right there?
It is.
Oh my goodness! Check this. At the Ruff Talk VR podcast, we just landed a brand new podcast sponsor.
One that I'm really happy about.
Well, let's be real. It's the case with you. It's the case with me too. Anybody who knows us, we're pretty weird about, shirt material.
Yeah, I don't like certain things on my skin.
No, I'll drive my girlfriend crazy. I'll put on a shirt. I'll sit
Take
there
it
for a
right
second.
off.
I'll be like, nope, need a different one.
Too thick.
Yep.
Too heavy.
Material, fabric, weight, it's all essential for wearing a shirt.
Yep. You're speaking the truth.
And you know what? These shirts came in. True Classic.
Mm-hmm.
They're shirts. They're lightweight.
They fit. They form fit really nice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like not everybody's got the
jackpot.
guns, but you don't need it with these type of shirts. Real form fit. If you're, we'll say, a bigger size gentleman,
Dad body?
either long or
bod.
just bigger, it really doesn't make that hanging feature that you see some shirts put on. It kind of just hangs right over.
The most important thing for me was going to be how it felt on my skin more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything outside of that's an added bonus. So they've hit all the boxes that one would need checkmarked for a good quality T-shirt.
Yeah. So whether you're like us and you're very particular about the type of shirt you're putting on, or you're just having trouble finding a good fit T-shirt, check out True Classic. You can use code word Ruff Talk VR, all one word. You can save 25% off your order, and they even do free shipping with orders above $100.
Yeah, that's in today's times. That's worth its weight in gold.
And you might say $100 in shirts. Go
shop.
You know what? They got packs. They do other things besides shirts. They do workout stuff. You say.
Yeah, you can bundle your own little wardrobe accessories there. They got something for everybody. But if they could send out like a little 4-inch swath of their shirts to just millions of people,
mm-hmm.
I bet you millions of people.
Oh, just sample the fabric?
Because before I even put mine on, I just wanted to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew before I was even going to put it on, I'm like, this is a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, but they're definite. I'm living proof. I got a whole drawer in my house full of shirts that I will not wear, each for a specific reason.
Yeah. No, True Classic tees is not going to fall into that pile.
No, they home runned it. They really did.
So,
and I'm happy that they did, because otherwise we certainly wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Yep. And I'm glad that now we can share some savings with our podcast listeners. So,
absolutely.
Again, that's 25% off with code Ruff Talk VR, and purchases over 100, free shipping, baby.
Nice. Smooth sack summer is slowly coming to an end, fellas. If you haven't been scaping for the summer sun, it's not too late to sweep your sack of those pesky pubes. As summer comes to an end and we enter fall, keep your boys clean and fresh just in time for Fresh Ball Fall. The leader in below-the-waist grooming is here to make sure your pubes feel smoother than a beach ball and smell fresher than your girl's pumpkin spice. Start the new season the right way and join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Ruff Talk VR at manscaped.com. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep your sweet, sweet sack in check. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver, toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Now that your sack is smooth, lather up with Manscaped's liquid formulations to get that fresh ball fall freshness. The Crop Preserver, ball deodorant to stay cool in the heat. Their soothing aloe vera formula is the best in the business for below-the-waist freshness, and the clear drying formula keeps your sack looking and smelling good. Great goosey moosey! Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts for their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag that'll bring your comfort to another level at home and on the go. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh as we say sayonara to smooth ball summer and enter fresh ball fall.
All right, now that we're back from our little sponsor break, I'll bother our listeners a little bit more and say again, if you've been liking the podcast, like always, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. That way you get our newest content ASAP, and a 5-star review really, that feels nice to the heart.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I love seeing that.
See that Apple rating or that Spotify number go up. That's always nice. As well, like I say a bunch, we have online communities. We have, our official subreddit, which you can find the link in our show notes. The episode description. As well, we have a freaking poppin' these days Discord community. Go join and be one of the members there. It's free to join. We're rolling out a Patreon pretty soon. That's not out yet, but we're rolling out some fun tiers. Maybe we roll out some integration into our Discord as well. But Discord will always be free to join, so go join that party there. Like I said, it's really popping. We're seeing some day-to-day characters. It's cool. So. Join us there, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and now time for our final thoughts and our final review. But I don't think it's too questionable that this is probably going to be good scores from both of us. But in case anybody's this is your first time listening, how we do our reviews here is we do 5 different categories. We do gameplay, aesthetics, functionality, replayability, and value, and we grade each one 1 to 20, and the total adds up to the final score. So we've been, ping-ponging back and forth who starts, does each week. You seem to be better at remembering it than I did. Did you go last week first?
I think you went last week first.
Okay, then do you want to start it, sir?
I think so. I'm not sure.
I won't be. If you went 2 weeks in a row, guess what? I will not cry either, so it would be totally okay.
I'm gambling on this one. How bad is that? I can't remember a week.
I was really gambling that you remember. Did you hear me be like, you remember better than I do?
I can remember shit I played years ago. I can't remember.
This guy's gonna know which one of us two did it, because I don't.
No. Okay. So I'll just, every now and then I feel like maybe my opinion's a little biased for some reason, so I'm gonna say I guess maybe it is. I'm really amped up about this for some reason, and on paper I shouldn't be. On advertisement, I shouldn't be. In gameplay, I absolutely am just blown away, and it's tough to describe because this isn't my favorite style of gaming. This whole roguelite thing is, I enjoy it. The ones we've played, I'm grateful we have, but they're not my go-tos, in any stretch, but this seems to have some element to it that stands on its own. So the gameplay itself, I think they brought a lot of new things to the table, some unique things. The whole gun building, the randomness, all comes together. As much as I hate the randomness, I love the randomness. Sometimes I wish I could just pick my own guns, but then I'm like, no, because then it wouldn't be as fun. So there's like this, like, that's why I use the lottery as the only thing, is like you feel good when you get a good part. Like, oh yeah, this is awesome. So I give them a 20. Aesthetics, it'll be of no surprise. They're not the worst. They're not the best. So it's a 15. That seems to be like my common go-to, although I've seen some questionable 10s. 20s are hard to come by now, and the bar just keeps getting raised higher and higher for that. So if you can achieve that or whatever, then I'll be happy to do 20s. But a 15. Functionality, I'm pretty blown away with the amount of stuff that really goes on, with every gun having its own fire rates and color patterns and sound effects. And I'm telling you, these are not like normal designs. So you're getting really crazy, abstract looking, artistic looking firearms, I'll say. And it all works. I haven't had anything clunk down when I thought for sure it's going to. There's so much going on, but no. So a 20. We did have some issues playing co-op, but we've decided that was not the game, because we can prove that.
I'm pretty sure it was Wi-Fi issues on my end. That's all.
We proved that we were still able to play. Replayability, this is a weird one. I was like, oh, well, it's probably going to end up being a 15, at best. But it's a 20. Maybe 6 months from now, it'll be a 15. But for now, it's like knowing that there's no way I can go get the gun I played yesterday or a week from Wednesday or 3 weeks, that's gone. I'm up to the mercy of the program that randomizes the gun parts and the extensions and all these other cool things. So I keep wanting to go back to it. When you were like, we're not done with this even after we're done reviewing, right? I was like, no argument at all for me. I'll always play Pop 1, but if I have to sacrifice a couple of Pop 1 nights to get a couple of rounds of this in, I'll do it. That's the kind of...
Population what?
Yeah. No. Pop 1 for life, baby. But it's a 20 for me for replayability and value for money. I think for $20, they're giving you so much freaking replay value if you enjoy this style of gaming, which you might not know you actually enjoy, because there are none out there that do this like they do. So I give them a 95. And it's not because we're in the same state either, because Bostonians hate Western Mass. So
Yeah, if anything, we'd be
I should
ducking
knock
you
'em.
from there.
I should knock them points.
Yeah.
For
We don't talk like you either. But no, that's a great score. And I'll also say that, before I get into mine, for categories like replayability, gameplay, a lot of those are very personal based. So it's, I completely understand for some people, this game might have a replayability that's a 15 or even a 10 because they need a story, they need missions, whatever. Sometimes I'm on that board. Roguelites, they tend to cap out for me, but again, this score is going to be for my personal enjoyment out of it. So if it seems like some of my scores areas are a little bit biased because I love the game, some whatever, they are. This is my review. It's not a group made score. This is my review.
So your review's not a democracy.
No, it's not. It's very, I'm King Damien when it comes to my scores. But nonetheless, so starting with gameplay, this is probably the easiest category. This one's a 20. The only thing that I could ask is, more weapons, but that's just selfish. The ability to trade would be cool. And then if the other game modes came to multiplayer, that's all. I mean, the game is freaking good. Being able to build my weapons is the coolest thing. No two builds are ever the same. I connect them however I want. I can go all the way to the left, all the way to the right, top, bottom. I can start to build a giant, as far as you can make it, before you beat the run or you die. It's totally up to your imagination what this gun is going to look like. So gameplay is so easy. That's a 20. Aesthetics, I agree with everything you said. 15 is becoming more common, it seems. 20, I'm trying to kind of save for the ones that really wow, like Red Matter 2. This game, there's nothing bad about the graphics. It's just nothing like mind-boggling. I think that there's too much going on in the game with, like you said, how many guns can you put on before the thing caps out, before the game starts glitching up? There's so many enemies coming at you. The environments are pretty detailed, so while they're not the highest quality graphics ever, I mean, they're good for what they are, and I'm not surprised that they're kind of capped at what they are, but I'm going to give it a 15 as well. Functionality, I'm going to give a 20 because, again, the only glitch that I've had, I think, is based around my network. I've been having some Wi-Fi issues recently, so Charter's not really doing me any favors on this one. So yeah, I haven't had any glitches, and like you keep saying, and I agree with it too, it's remarkable for the amount going on. So 20 on functionality. Replayability, easy 20 for me. I haven't felt this way about a game since we started playing Population 1, and I'll always go back to Population 1 too. I was just joking, but yeah, this game, it's like I'll be thinking about it. It's like if I'm doing a solo run, a co-op run, it doesn't matter. I'm doing a run. Like, this game is so freaking good. Replayability, I could see the argument for somebody going 15 because, you know, the incentive to keep playing is kind of on your imagination. But I'm the type of person, you drop like a box of Legos in front of me, I have hours of enjoyment. So, I don't know, being able to build in, I'm never satisfied. I always want to do another gun. I always want to do another run. 20 on replayability, and value, easy 20 as well. So the only category I can hit them on at all is 5 on aesthetics. But it's not, like, 15 is really freaking good graphics still. So I'm going to give them a 95 as well. I think we have pretty much identical scores.
Yeah, 15 for graphics is last year's 20.
15, I'd say 15 for graphics means that you have the standard quality of graphics on the Quest.
Yeah, you're not letting anybody down.
Nope, 15 is freaking great. It's just 20 is for the people that push it to the next level, you know? Like, but, dude, I don't think, like, my headset would melt if this game had better graphics, you know?
No, I'm beyond stoked that we chose to do this.
Something cool about it that you didn't mention, I haven't had this pop up yet, but you ran out of battery one time playing. It didn't give you an on-screen message. Like, it not the little ticker. It let you know in-game, right?
Yeah, I had an in-game message.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that games are starting to do that.
Do you have to acknowledge that your battery's running low?
You gave the shout out to Pop 1 in it because Pop 1's a game that you start on low battery, you're done. This is another game of it. It's like, hey, just so you know, you're going to get disconnected.
Make it much longer. Although it didn't really, what I will say is it didn't seem to draw the battery like super fast.
No, for the amount going on in the game.
Yeah, you would think that, like, oh boy, this is going to be a 30-minute game, but it's like, no, you can play for a good hour, no problem. It's
a standard game, but we won't put it on the battery killer list.
No.
Which is amazing for the amount going on it with it.
But I'd recommend, you know what it almost reminded me of is if, like, remember Little Cities? The one with, is that the space one that we had done?
No, that was Space Folk.
Space Folk, yeah. Little Cities is the actual Little Cities one.
Little Cities.
I was thinking if, like, Space Folk made a shooter.
Yeah,
this is kind of how it would be.
Yeah, it's real cool.
Has that artsy kind of creativity vibe going to it.
It's weird because for the amount of destruction and shooting robots and amount of different style violent enemies coming at me, it's very happy feeling. It's dark red rooms, but it's happy feeling. I can't explain it.
Yeah, it's for co-op experience. It is a must own.
Dude, I love when we're deep in. And
imagine if they could do 4 players.
Yeah, I understand why they can't. It's things like that. Like, I understand why the graphics aren't better.
It's a supercomputer.
But this is, I love when we're so deep into a run, and I just hear from you, dude, look at this. And I look over, and your gun is like, 4 or 5 different gun parts, guns attached to it with connectors everywhere. And I go, well, dude, check this out. And it's fucking the same thing. It's like, oh, man.
No, they
struck gold.
Yep, they crushed it.
For a game that I thought would only get me in the co-op mode, it's gotten me in co-op, single player, it doesn't matter, but definitely the most fun to me is co-op. Because we really have to coordinate, we have to work together.
They just need a better way of getting a message out of what the game really is. Because I just, again,
how is this not like...
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so some things, there's like a gap between this game and where it should be, I think.
You'll see, for people who like follow multiple YouTubers and stuff like that, you'll see like some games that when it drops, it makes its rounds through everybody, or everybody's kind of covered it. This isn't one of those games, and it doesn't make sense to me.
No, this one should have been hit hard on release.
Yeah, I mean,
but at the same time,
this is throwing some
maybe
some
not,
last
because
minute sleep.
they've had some critical updates and they've taken care of some problems.
That's true. This is a game that, admittingly, we didn't buy and play at release. No, we got it. So post cozy update.
So it's
post
better
cozy
for us. Yeah, it's better for us that we had gotten it in that sense than on day one.
Yeah, because they didn't even have the co-op campaign. Right away. There was still multiplayer, but it was called like Gauntlet mode. It's a mode. We just do the camp. We just do.
It would have been us doing a review, being like, it would be really cool if you could do the campaign with your buddy.
Now instead, I'm just saying I wish we could do the other game modes. But again, seeing beta, you have to think that's coming.
And they got an active Discord, real easy to join theirs too.
Yeah. And now one other thing that I wish that they had that I understand that they don't is like in single player, you can quit a run. Like if you shut off your headset or quit the game while in a run, I did that. I just shut off my headset mid-run. I was like, I'm fucking done with this run. I'm going to bed. I didn't realize it was 11:15. It's one of those games will capture my time. I'm like, oh shit, it's too late. So I shut off. The next day I fire it back up. And it's like, do you want to continue the run? And I'm like, oh damn, that's cool. Doesn't let you do that in multiplayer.
No, it just tells you quit.
Yep, your client disconnected. Like, damn it.
Yep.
So it'd be cool if we could stop it, because there was one run earlier today, we're like, we're trying to squeeze in a run before podcasting. It's like, all right, we gotta start, but so we had to stop the run, and that one actually seemed like we were doing really good. It would have been cool to be able to fire it back up later, but I get why you can't. I'm not sitting here crying.
No,
I'm not gonna deduct points because of it.
Today was like one of the first days we were playing, and I was like, shit, I wish there was a way that I could just not have to record today.
Yeah, we don't usually play,
and that's never
at all.
That's really never happened.
We don't play the same days that we record at all. That never happens.
No, it was just an added bonus of
we just had to
want to get a run in.
I was almost
20 minutes to spare.
We totally don't need to spend more time on it to review it. We've done what we need to review, but there's part of me that was like, oh, we should have taken another week on it. But dude, we'll just keep playing it.
No, we even joked about that. Like, oh, we should find a reason to.
Is there another game we can do?
To spend a week on.
But I will, But nonetheless, I'll spend multiple more weeks on this. But it was ready to review, to be honest.
This one falls into my personal stash.
Mm-hmm. And I could totally see somebody being like, look, I don't have a friend to play with. The single player doesn't capture me enough. There's not a story mode. It's not my type of game. Cool. But for us,
I get it.
Who, if you love co-op games, or you have a creative imagination, you like to build things, this game's endless. I can't say it enough. I've yet to finish a run and not want to start another run because I want to start building another gun right away.
Nah, dude, I'm gonna be doing runs in about. I'm not lying, in about an hour.
Been thinking about it all day.
Yeah, when we stopped this morning,
I'm
like, all right, well, when we're done, going home, we're gonna play.
There was one day this week, because shout out to a business close to our heart, Simply Diplicious, at the Big E in Western Massachusetts this weekend.
Big fair out here.
If anybody lives in New England or ever travels to the Big E, you can swing by the Massachusetts visit and go support a local business close to Stratus and ours heart.
Yeah.
Simply Diplicious.
Been over a decade.
Yep.
13 years.
So it's a business run by you and your fiance.
Yep.
So chip
Although
dips.
she does all the she does all the real work now.
You're just the face attached to the No,
I was at Put yesterday when I was there. He cleans things.
Yeah, it comes up with some of the names.
He'll clean things and move things. Someone was busting my chops at the fair. This is a huge fair, folks.
We're talking like 100,000 people per day. Yeah. But there was one day this week that you couldn't play. So I was like, all right, I'll do solo. And when I got that message that you couldn't play, I was like, man, this is probably the one game ever that I'm like, fuck. I don't mind, not mind, but I was like, I want to do a co-op bad. No, but then that was my first time doing the solo play of it. And I was like, damn, I could go all day with this, This game's freaking, oh man.
No, right now it's providing me all the joy and comfort I want in a game.
Well, let's be real. We're not the only people who look for co-op games. There's some people who don't look for co-op games at all because they don't have somebody to play with, in which case, in my opinion, this game has a great single player. But if you do play co-op games with people, I mean, this is the must-own on the co-op game list.
Oh, yeah. It's no walkabout for that co-op.
No, but it's funny.
Co-op love, but it's
hectic.
Good. Well, let's put it this way. It exceeded both our expectations. I don't think either one of us went into this one with the like, oh, dude, this one's gonna be a home run. You know, this is gonna be the best game ever. Didn't take but like one night of playing when we were like, whoa, there's really something going on with this.
Yeah, that first run that we did together, and
I thought I like I said, I thought it was gonna be corny. You know,
No.
like holy shit, this is really good.
expectation versus reality. You know what I thought versus what I'm finished saying. Like, wow,
Yeah.
maybe my it's definitely my new favorite co-op game.
No, I won't disagree with you. I'm
And
hard pressed to think of one right now that beats it.
It's I don't want to use the word of best, my favorite VR game yet, but it's like I'll have to sleep on this one for a bit. You know, spend some months.
Yeah.
You know, Pop
Let's see where it is in like. But my fear is, you know,
Pop
again,
One's still giving me love. You know, year and a half later, endless enjoyment. Will this give me enjoyment the same enjoyment a year later?
if
Let's
they
see.
keep dropping updates, then yeah,
100. All I need to see is that there's five new guns.
be anything, dude. I'll a
Mhm.
gun every 2 months. I'm probably still gonna.
Oh, dude,
I
this
can't
game's
say
so
no
good.
because again, you can't build the same shit twice.
Then we're gonna see that they drop sandbox mode and co-op, and we're like, well, now we both get to use our favorite gun together.
Yeah, that'll be nuts. How they'll handle that, I'll never know.
Fuck, this game was good. So props to
Yeah, hats off to them. They killed it.
Funny Game Studio name, Terrible Posture Games. But
Love it.
like we always say, though, you like this episode, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, go join the Discord and Reddit party, and check us out next week. Ciao, ciao.